Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Sonal Bhutra. With me as always is Vivek Iyer. High for the markets. We are actually at the day's high. 260 points higher on the Nifty. Mid-caps are outperforming. So are the small caps. The advance decline ratio absolutely in favor of the advances. Remains to be seen whether we continue at these levels or not, because last couple of trading sessions have been quite volatile.
Good afternoon, Sonal. Absolutely right. And also the end of the week. And that's something that we are looking forward to as well. Like you mentioned, green on the screen, but it's been a very volatile trading session, especially some of the stocks that we will be discussing going forward as well. But right now, the breadth is quite positive in favor of the advances. A lot lined up on the show, so let's start off with the top headlines. Stocks see some follow-through buying from Thursday with a healthy advance decline ratio after India's PM Modi calls Donald Trump. Metals and consumer durables are the big gainers, while FMCG stocks track. Broader markets upbeat.
Dixon Tech trades with gains as CLSA reiterates its outperformed rating on the stock. The brokerage maintains a target of 18,800 rupees a share, implying a 45% upside from current levels.
PI Industries trades under pressure after major client Kumai Chemicals forecasts a 5% fall in revenue and 32% operating margin decline.
And shares of Honasa Consumer trade higher as the company enters men's personal care segment by buying a 95% stake in Regional Men at an enterprise value of 195 crore rupees. Okay, those are the top headlines. The outperformance in mid-caps is something that we are tracking very closely. In terms of sectoral movers, of course, it's the metal index that continues to see an up move. That is the top gainer with gains of 2.5%. Some gains coming in from oil and gas and the PSU basket as well. There are few sectors, far and few, which are in the red. FMCG, for instance, is the top loser, down 0.5%. And PSU banking index is also giving it some company. However, there's not further losses from those levels that we are seeing currently, but a lot of movers in the broader markets that we'll be tracking and individual names that are seeing big reaction to news updates.
That's right. So, we just had a story, done by a colleague, Yash, talking about commissions as far as insurance companies are concerned, the entire insurance pack as well as a commission agent, which is PB Fintech, and so in focus on the back of that. But a very sharp downtick is what Siemens is seeing. Remember, Siemens today held its analyst meet that just concluded. The company has uploaded a presentation to the exchanges. Winnie joins in with key takeaways from this particular analyst meet. Winnie, take it away.
Hi, so absolutely key takeaways that have come in from this analyst day meet, not too positive. One, in terms of private capex, they said yes, it's still been muted. It's not a very sharp recovery that one has seen in the private sector capex. They're saying November, December, some recovery seen, but sustainability of this is going to be key to watch out for. The company will be keeping an eye out on that for the next 5 to 6 months. Other than that, they've highlighted that the electronics, battery manufacturing, solar cell, pharma side of the sectors, that has been doing well, and that continues to do well in terms of demand. Concern comes in why the digital industrial segment, or the DI segment as we know it as, those margins, they are expecting that to be in the range of 6 to 8%. Now, do not forget, last year it was in the range of 12 to 14%. So this is a concern that's highlighted by the analysts themselves as well. And this is going to be lower mainly due to some transfer pricing framework. So because of that, there is actually a lower operating margin, and DI segment accounts to 20 to 25% of their revenue mix. Even the motion segment, they said that, yeah, they're expecting margins in that 9.5 to 10% range versus 7.5%. But the concern here is that the company has said that there is some concern, and they're really evaluating their railway as well as the metro capex that are there. So analysts believe that they will not be able to sustain the double-digit margin that they are talking about. The sustainability over here becomes a concern as well. So key concerns coming in for the DI segment, motion segment, and no guidance that was given during this whole analyst day meet is a big concern for analysts, and that is why we're seeing that the stock has seen a fall as well.
A big fall at the day's low, 6% lower on Siemens as we speak. Thank you so much, Winnie, for bringing us all those details. That definitely is a stock to track very closely. Post-commentary coming in from the management. With that, we'll slip into a break. When we come back, we'll get to the management of Oswal Pumps on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
26 years of CNBC-TV18.
Welcome back to Midcap Radar. Well, let's now go to the management joining us on the show. Remember, Oswald Pumps yesterday informed the exchanges that they had won a 380 crore order from the Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company. We are now joined by Vivek Gupta, the chairman and MD at Oswald Pumps, to break down the details of this particular order. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Gupta. First up, give us more details about this particular.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. First up, give us details as to the quantum of pumps you will be supplying, the timeline over which this particular pump supply has to be done, and what will be the revenue breakup for you from this particular order.
जैसे आपने देखा कि अभी कंपनी को करीब 380 करोड़ का ऑर्डर महाराष्ट्र स्टेट से मिला है और ये टाइमलाइन हमारे पास है विद इन 3 months वी हैव टू कंप्लीट दिस ऑर्डर. So, and continuously we are expecting more orders in coming months as well and in this fiscal year. So, ये जितने भी orders हम लोग लेते हैं normally 90 days से 120 days के अंदर हमें complete करना होता है. But this order was expected as early. So, we have all the preparation already. So, we are expecting supply within 2 months. We will complete this order within 2 months.
Okay, so you'll be completing the order of 13,738 off-grid DC solar photovoltaic water pumping systems in next 2 months itself. So all the revenues, what are the payment terms here? Usually when you do these businesses for governments, what is the receivable period? Do you have a fixed timeline or is it phase-wise? If you can give us a sense of whether all that revenue will accrue in the next quarter itself.
Yeah, actually what happened, receivable cycle ये सब डिपेंड करता है कि हम लोग इंस्टॉलेशन करने के बाद हमारे जो पंप्स हैं उनका डाटा जो भी लाइव डाटा है वो गवर्नमेंट के पोर्टल्स पे जाता है. सो गवर्नमेंट उस पोर्टल को वेरीफाई करने के बाद तकरीबन 90 डेज का डाटा गवर्नमेंट वेरीफाई करती है. सो आफ्टर दैट ऑल द पेमेंट्स वी रिसीव्ड. सो मोरलेस ये जो पेमेंट साइकिल रहता है अराउंड 100 to 120 डेज का साइकिल रहता है नॉर्मली ऑफ द टोटल पेमेंट ऑफ 90%. सो ये साइकिल रहता है. इसमें बीच में कभी जैसे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र भी रिसेंटली कुछ अपने इंटरनल गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड्स में कुछ ज्यादा बिजी थी और कुछ रेनी सीजन की वजह से पीछे कुछ थी. अदरवाइज महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट इज क्वाइट वेरी एफिशिएंट और बहुत प्रॉम्प्टली पेमेंट्स उनका हिस्टोरिकली रिकॉर्ड इज वेरी गुड. और फ्यूचर में भी हम लोग बहुत अच्छा एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं.
So what? So now that you're saying कि पहले नहीं हुआ क्योंकि गिनीज वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड में बिजी थी, then there were rains as well. So does it mean आपका अभी रिसीवेबल साइकिल थोड़ा स्ट्रेच्ड है? आपको 90 डेज से ज्यादा या 90 to 100 डेज से ज्यादा टाइम लगा पेमेंट मिलने में? How much higher was it? How much higher was it? And do you think it will continue now also for this particular order?
We are expecting receivable cycle will be very good in Q4. चूंकि Q2 और Q3 में कुछ रेनी सीजन भी था, कुछ ये गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड भी था. सो ये सब फैक्टर्स कंसीडर की वजह से थोड़ा सा रिसीवेबल साइकिल हमारा स्ट्रेच हुआ है. अदरवाइज वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग वेरी गुड साइकिल इन Q4 एंड सो ऑन.
So that will be 90 days is what you're saying.
It will be more than 90 days. It will be more than around 120 days at present. But slowly, gradually in Q4 and so on, we are expecting less than this.
Okay, got that, sir. Sir, currently, give us what is the total order book in terms of financials, in terms of actual rupees crore. By the end of FY26, where do you expect the order book to be at and how is the current ordering pipeline?
Okay. अभी रिसेंटली जैसे आपने देखा कि 380 करोड़ का हमने ये ऑर्डर रिसीव किया है एंड मोर और लेस डिफरेंट स्टेट्स लाइक कर्नाटका वी हैव गुड ऑर्डर. रिसेंटली वी गॉट स्मॉल ऑर्डर ऑफ MP and so on different states from Rajasthan, from UP, and we are even immediate expecting we are from Haryana. So order normally company एक लेवल तक भी रिसीव करती है ताकि वो 90 to 100 डेज में गवर्नमेंट के टर्म्स के हिसाब से उस ऑर्डर को एग्जीक्यूट कर पाए. अदरवाइज अगर हम ज्यादा ऑर्डर्स एकदम से रिसीव करते हैं सो हमारे लिए एग्जीक्यूशन वो टाइमलाइन से बाहर हो सकता है. सो दैट वी हैव ऑलवेज किया. सो रिसेंटली वी आर वेरी श्योर कि अभी हम अगर बात करते हैं कि इस फिस्कल ईयर के लिए हमारे पास ऑर्डर बुक एनफ है और जो हमारे कंपनी के टारगेट्स हैं इस फिस्कल ईयर में उसको लेके कंपनी को कोई कंसर्न नहीं है, दैट वी आर वेरी श्योर।
सर, और ये टारगेट्स क्या है सर?
टारगेट्स जैसे हम लोगों ने इंटरनल टारगेट दिया है कि लास्ट ईयर से हम लोग करीब 50% के करीब हम लोग पंप की इंस्टॉलेशन ज्यादा करेंगे और ग्रोथ लेंगे। सो उसी टैग रिकॉर्ड में, उसी सिस्टम में कंपनी ग्रो कर रही है। अगर हम अपने 2 क्वार्टर्स के रिजल्ट भी देखेंगे तो अकॉर्डिंगली कंपनी ने वैसे ही रेवेन्यू में परफॉर्म किया है।
So, Mr. Gupta, coming back on the collections, because you said it was stretched right now, what is the net working capital days that you have? क्योंकि अगर पैसा टाइम पे नहीं आ रहा, is it impacting execution? आपके पास orders भी bunched up है. Do you think the delay in collections will impact your possibility or execution capabilities and the funding capabilities as well?
Not yet, लेकिन डेफिनेटली देखिए, अभी तक जो कंपनी के पास कैश फ्लो है और कंपनी जिस डायरेक्शन में काम कर रही है, और कंपनी को बहुत इमीडिएट एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि गवर्नमेंट से बहुत जल्दी फंड गवर्नमेंट रिलीज करने वाली है, और कुछ फंड्स महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने इमीडिएट रिलीज भी किए हैं। इनफैक्ट 2-3 दिन पहले कुछ फंड्स रिलीज भी किए हैं, और रिसेंटली वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग मोर रिलीज इन कमिंग।
Can you give us an amount, Mr. Gupta? How much is pending?
मतलब वैसे तो करीब गवर्नमेंट ने 600 करोड़ पे करीब टोटल रिलीज किया है अमंग ऑल द वेंडर्स।
Out of which आपको कितना आया है?
हमें एग्जैक्ट फिगर आई डोंट हैव राइट नाउ, बट आई थिंक इट इज मोर देन 50 करोड़।
And how much is pending? 50 करोड़ आया है, ये 380 करोड़ का ऑर्डर है, कितना बाकी है और मिलना गवर्नमेंट से?
गवर्नमेंट से, महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट से टोटल आउटस्टैंडिंग आई थिंक मे बी 500-600 के आसपास की टोटल आउटस्टैंडिंग है जिसमें। सो बट उसका बहुत पंप्स ऐसे हैं जिनका अभी टाइमलाइन पूरा नहीं हुआ है, जो साइकिल टाइम है, जो डाटा का कलेक्शन है। सो आई थिंक विद इन ए मंथ टाइम वो डाटा होगा तो ग्रेजुअली गवर्नमेंट पेमेंट रिलीज करनी शुरू कर देगी।
Okay, Mr. Gupta, one more question. Typically, in these cases, ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज के कारण हम लोग जनरली देखते हैं हायर पंप इंस्टॉलेशन के साथ EBITDA margins also go higher. However, in your case, H1 on a year-on-year basis, EBITDA margins have dipped. तो FY26 एंड क्या margins रहेंगे and why have margins fallen?
देखिए, मार्जिन्स फॉल होने का एक रीजन ये रहा है कि टेंडर्स में कुछ कंपटीशन आया है पिछले टेंडर्स में, और ये एक्सपेक्टेड कंपटीशन था। प्राइस कुछ स्लैश डाउन हुए और इट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड बाय ओसवाल पंप्स। तो ओसवाल पंप्स ने बहुत कोशिश की है, उस पूरे इफेक्ट को न्यूट्रलाइज भी काफी हद तक किया है, और कुछ इफेक्ट हमारा Q2 में वन टाइम था जो हम Q3 में रिकवर कर लेंगे। सो बहुत बड़ा इफेक्ट हम लोगों पे नहीं आया। अगर आप ब्रॉडली देखते हैं तो 1-1.5% का इफेक्ट हमारे पास आया। तो आने वाले फ्यूचर में ओसवाल वैल्यू इंजीनियरिंग पे बहुत काम कर रही है, और ओसवाल को ये बहुत अच्छी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि अपने जो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी है इसको सस्टेन कर पाएगी।
Okay. All right, Mr. Gupta, thank you so much for joining and explaining this order win for us, for our viewers, and the outlook going forward as well. That's the word coming in from Oswal Pumps. They have won this order, but important to note, the receivable cycle is quite stretched, and they did indicate that 500 crore rupees of receivables are pending from the Maharashtra government from previous orders. So the collection efficiency is something that we'll be tracking very closely, because that ultimately is the other important metric to track for any business. We'll slip into a short break now. When we come back, we'll get you more on the markets and stock-specific action. Stay tuned for that.
"26 years of CNBC TV18."
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Mid-Cap Radar. In an otherwise strong market, one stock which is lower in trade is PI Industries. A colleague Ria is joining us to tell us what really happened here. Ria.
Well, yes, PI Industries is down roughly 2-2.5% in trade today after a major client of the company called Kume Chemicals has revised its FY26 guidance. They have lowered their guidance for the year. The revenue is forecasted to drop by around 5%, and the operating profit is going to fall roughly 32% as per the company. Now, let's understand why this matters for PI Industries. So, Kume Chemicals is the biggest customer of PI Industries, and the company supplies a molecule called pyroxasulfone to Kume Chemicals. chemicals, which they then brand and sell as Axiv, as a herbicide called Axiv. Now, pyroxasulfan is estimated to contribute roughly 40% to PI Industries' total sales, which is why this can have a big impact on the company's sales going ahead. Now, on the back of this, 361 Capital has come out with a note on the company. They have a buy rating on PI Industries with a target price of roughly 4,217, and they have highlighted the outlook that has been given by Kume Chemicals. In the overseas market, the group is expected to continuously expand and maintain their sales of Axiv, but in order to enhance their price competitiveness, they are also going to be reducing production costs. So as per 361 Capital, they believe that Kume's lowered guidance shall have a negative bearing for PI for their FY27 estimated sales for pyroxasulfan, and additionally Kume's renegotiation of ingredients and raw material pricing with suppliers may also impact pricing for pyroxasulfan going ahead. So in the short to medium term, this remains negative for PI Industries until new products in the CSM category scale up materially. So overall, this is negative for PI Industries, which is why the stock is taking a hit in today's trading session.
Well, thank you so much, Ria, for joining us and explaining to us what's caused the downtick as far as PI Industries today is concerned. Well, with the news that the mid-cap index up almost 1% and the market is in the green, we take your leave on this edition of Mid-Cap Radar. Your stocks when we return.
"26 years of CNBC TV18.